A good Saturday evening to you, and many thanks for keeping it to Rwanda Television. We do hope you had yourselves a great and restful but also fun-filled Saturday and the whole weekend in general. Welcome to tonight's edition. These are the headlines. Analysts are optimistic that the cabinet members recently appointed are fully focused to their responsibilities. How deep is the Congolese problem that the modern world has failed to solve or has no willingness to address? A very good evening to you once again, and thank you for your company tonight on Rwanda Television News. And starting it off, political analysts affirm that the cabinet members appointed are too focused and fully committed to fulfill their responsibilities and work hard to attain the development citizens are willing or want to achieve. Prince Manzi, start us off tonight.
Friday evening, the communique of newly appointed cabinet members in the next 5 years was released. These include 30 ministers and ministers of state. Only 3 ministers are new in the ministries of trade and industry, public service and labor, and sports. President Paul Kagame urges leaders to work together as this new mandate is for more hard work.
Nta muntu kamara wakora ibintu wenyine ngo byuzuze za nshingano nahereho navugaga.
No one is enough alone to complete the assignment we have. We must work together and remind each other of our respective responsibilities. Even if it's not in your responsibilities, you should remain silent on destructive things that happen around you, which destroy the country. Citizens, mostly the youth, demonstrate their expectations of the new cabinet. As someone aged, I see that a lot has been done. What I can say to the new cabinet is that may the Lord be with them and continue to achieve even more. I can see that a lot has been achieved. What I request is the financial accessibility, mostly to be given a loan with no collateral, because we no longer have hereditary properties. We build up everything on our own, so we want easy access of funds and also with no much interest charges. Shaka Maiko Nyarwaya, an economic expert and founder of AfriGlobal Cooperation Program Limited, reiterates that in the next 5 years there's a need for collaboration between the government and the private sector.
We are looking forward to work hand in hand with the government, because the citizen belongs to the government, but also the citizen belongs to the private sector. It also belongs to the civil society. So our expectation is to see how can we join our hands together to achieve the Vision 2050. How can we join our hands together to achieve Vision 2035? How can we join our hands together to build this mandate of 2024-2029? So our expectation, we believe that the government is going to facilitate us. We trust that we are going to work smoothly, work hand in hand. Private sector need to be facilitated, because these are the people who implement what is happening in the government, and these are the people who are giving almost 90% a job for the young people. So they need to be very facilitated. So our expectation is all about working together, joining hands together, and we have a lot that we are expecting for this government, because we also want to contribute for the development of this country. But we cannot do it when we are not united. When you quote the President Paul Kagame, he mentioned about how people can work closely so that we can develop our country. So that's what we are expecting. We believe that this mandate is going to be smoothly for the private sector and also for the government. But also what we are expecting that the private sector is going to be facilitated. We knew for the last many years we've been facilitated, but this must be a special way. because we have 5 years, and 5 years now, almost this year, it ends. So we are remaining only for 4 years. And the 4 years in 2028, we are going to start, we are going to be thinking about the election. So we have maybe like 3 years and a half. So which means we need to move very fast. We move together, we grow together, so that we can, our citizens, young people get job and prosper.
Rwanda has consistently shown interest in foreign relations and good diplomacy as the development journey strives, and according to Ambassador Joseph Mutaboba, a political analyst, this is still the aspiration.
Well, in the next 5 years, Rwanda has an aspiration. I should say all Rwandese would have aspiration to have more relationships with more and more countries from Africa and abroad, especially from Africa. We were blessed to have 22 heads of states and heads of governments also on top of that, and ambassadors of different countries who were present. It means a lot for Rwanda, and it means a lot for the Rwandese people. So if we open up more doors to Rwandan people, that means more and better relationship with the peoples from all Africa, and we could send in and out the Rwandese people to go and get more knowledge, to provide and share more knowledge with their fellow Africans.
Presidential and parliamentary elections in Rwanda were held simultaneously in July this year. The new cabinet ministers and ministers of state are appointed just only 6 days after the swearing in of the head of state and 3 days after the prime minister and the members of the parliament have sworn in.
Thank you, Prince, for the report. And moving ahead, we'll again go to what made our top stories. How deep is the Congolese problem that the modern world has failed to solve or has no willingness to? William Evans Mutabazi has this report.
The root of this conflict can be traced back to the colonial era when European powers, particularly Belgium, controlled the region. The arbitrary borders drawn by the colonial powers divided ethnic groups and sowed seeds of discord that continue to affect the region until today. Eastern Congo is rich in natural resources such as minerals, timber, and agricultural land. The competition for control over these resources, coupled with weak governance and corruption, has fueled the conflict as various armed groups and ill-intentioned foreign forces seek to profit from resource extraction. We talked to some of these refugees living in Kigali about this situation and what their future looks like.
Being a refugee is not at all good. But if you find yourself as a refugee, you have no choice to except to accept, to be in that status and try to find your solutions of what you have to do to survive in those conditions. There are different refugees in the cities and even the refugee camps. So especially for those in the refugee camp, they are suffering a lot. As you know, they've been living in very good conditions with their cows, cattle, and livestock, different kind of livestock. They were in the good conditions. They were not struggling. They were living a good standard life. But now they live a portion of days that are given to all refugees. So the only thing people think in the refugee camp is to go back home.
Being a refugee deprives you of a lot of things, including material wealth, but above all, psychologically. And all these affect your mental well-being. The problem back home is a complex but simple one too. It is a simple issue because there is honestly no tangible reason as to why people should be fighting. All this is because of poor governance and corruption. Congolese government has engaged in several peace meetings, but none has been duly respected. 30 years later, we are refugees scattered all over different countries. Mr. Alexis Nizeyimana, a seasoned political analyst, argues that for Congolese to be able to return home, there has to be political willingness first from their leaders, otherwise their future remains undefined.
I can say the future of these refugees lies in government will for accommodating all international agreements or resolutions that have been taken and that country have signed. But without this will of the government, these refugees have to stand up and to fight for their rights.
From the look of things, it is clear that the future of Congolese refugees hinges majorly on the political willingness and the effort made to address the root causes of this displacement by Congolese government and its people. Anything less of this is mere sophistry at its best and naivety at worst. William Evans Mutabazi, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, William. Children who take part in holiday activities believe that these experiences provide valuable knowledge that are not covered in school. Educational institutions encourage parents to take advantage of various programs available for children during this time. This is one of the schools in Muhanga district. Children are practicing theatre themed around environmental protection. The young ones say that they learn valuable lessons from these activities.
Parce que on risque de polluer l'air.
Burning grass and other substances pollutes the air we breathe. That's why it's not good to burn them. It also reduces the productivity of the gardens. During these holidays, I learned how to play theatre, as it was my first time. We learned a lot. We have been going to the library every Friday.
Aussi, j'aimais partir à la bibliothèque tous les vendredis.
Children are also taught cultural activities like songs and dances, but also taught the importance of reading whenever they get a chance. Schools organize programs that help children stay connected and learn more. The program also extends to centers with special categories of children.
Ino kore de vacances yadufashije kuba twavumbura impano umwana afite cyane.
These long holidays helped us to discover talents among autistic children. You'll find that some do not like music, but when you take them into art, they cope up very quickly. We teach them real-life lessons. The old ones learn hands-on skills like playing music, artistic design, and painting.
Nk'abakuze twabigishije imyuga, harimo abiga gucuranga, harimo abiga gushushanya no gusiga amarangi.
School principals reiterate that such programs help children to learn extra activities that are normally not taught in schools.
No kwigisha mu bundi buryo bundi ariko noneho hiyongeraho iyo shusho y'ikiruhuko.
It is teaching them just in a different way since they are in holidays. That includes entertainment activities that are normally not used during normal classes. They also learn sports like karate, which is a very important sport especially for children. They learn piano and other activities.
Bagakora n'indi mikino yindi iyo sigamije kubungura ubumenyi ariko no kwidagadura birimo.
Daniel Habyarimana, who is in charge of education in Muhanga district, insists that although many institutions are preparing programs to connect students, parents should also find ways to take care of the children during the holidays and prevent them from being distracted.
Batabyitayeho abana bafite ibirangaza byinshi bakeneye hari ikoranabuhanga ryateye burya ntabwo ari byiza ku mwana ashobora guhera mu.
If a parent chooses to care less, a child will be distracted. There are different distractions these days, like technology-related ones. It's really not healthy for a child to watch movies all day. Some are distracted by getting out of their homes. It's up to parents to set up clear plans for their children to stay educated during the holidays. The program does not replace traditional education methods, as children attend it in the morning hours and then return to their families. The Water and Sanitation Corporation, WASAC, has announced that within the next 3 years, over 200,000 households in the Western Province will gain access to clean water. This achievement is attributed to 6 major projects are currently underway to improve water access in this province.
Across the Western Province, many people frequently face a lack of access to clean water and are often compelled to drink from contaminated sources such as rivers and Lake Kivu. In our area Mushubati, we lack access to clean water. We rely on water from the Nyakagezi River, which flows into the swamps, and there are no faucets near our households. Even if we were to buy water, the nearest place to obtain it is very far from here. Additionally, the faucets in our area have been dry for the past 5 months. We hope to gain access to clean water, as water is essential for life. The government has set a goal to provide access to clean water for the whole population by the end of this year. However, institutions in charge acknowledge that this target has not yet been achieved. Despite this, significant efforts are being made through large-scale projects to expand clean water infrastructure. In the Western Province alone, more than 6 major projects are underway. Giselle Umuhumuza, the Chief Executive Officer of WASAC, notes that these projects will ensure that over 200,000 households in the Western Province gain access to clean water.
We have several projects that have started in this province. We have 6 main projects, but we have also more than 50 water supply systems that are going to be rehabilitated or extended within this province. The target is actually to increase household connections to water supply. As you may know, this is an area where we usually have heavy rainfall, and sometimes we get affected on the water supply systems. So it was also a moment to think through, to learn from past challenges or past events, and see what we can do in terms of the management, better management and sustainable management of water supply systems, but also the maintenance, preventive maintenance, so that the heavy rainfall are not really that much, don't impact us that much as we've seen in the past years.
During a provincial meeting to address challenges in providing clean water in the Western Province, it was revealed that clean water access has reached 83% across the province. However, districts such as Rutsiro and Ngororero have coverage rates below 70%. WASAC reports that there is still a significant gap in household water access, with only 17 to 18% of all people around the country having water in their homes. Regarding the 500-meter distance standard for clean water access, rural areas have a coverage rate of 56%, while urban areas stand at 72%. The gap will be addressed through the repair and expansion of water infrastructure and the construction of new facilities. This fiscal year, an estimated 45 billion Rwandan francs will be required to complete these efforts.
The leadership and staff of the Rwanda Institute for Conservation Agriculture, RICA, took a break from their office routine to participate in sports activities. Evans once more.
Today, in an inspiring act of unity and team spirit, Vice Chancellor of Rwanda Institute for Conservation Agriculture, Dr. Ronnie Rosat, and RICA staff momentarily stepped away from their office roles to partake in invigorating sports activities. This dynamic shift not only promotes a harmonious work-life balance, but also fortifies the team's bond, fostering potential boosts in productivity and morale.
Today is Sports Day at RICA, and we're doing this to incentivize staff to do sports for physical benefits and mental benefits, but also to help people come together, because sports is a field where people usually come together.
The Human Resource Director at RICA highlights the importance of participating in sports activities as a team.
First of all, it's like one of the team engagement activities. So when we are all here with our leaders, with the Vice Chancellor, with the DVCs praying with us, it boosts the morale. When the morale is there, when the health is there, I think the productivities increases at RICA.
RICA is not all play. The institution combines research, education and extension services to train Rwanda's next generation of leaders in agriculture while supporting national priorities for agricultural development. RICA's Vice Chancellor says that his staff work very hard and for long hours. That's the importance of days like these.
Well, we're very interested in morale on campus, and we have a very tight-knit community at the Rwanda Institute of Conservation and Agriculture. We're very interested in supporting the whole individual on campus. These people, these faculty and staff, work very hard throughout the year. They do an outstanding job. The institution has been very successful because of the hard work and the long hours that our employees put in, and we want to reward them a little bit with days like this. But also it's important for overall fitness. We have days like today where we emphasize fitness so that our people stay healthy throughout the year. We look at the whole individual. We're concerned about work-life balance, and we're concerned about the health of our individuals. And days like today allow us to support those broader initiatives.
By offering a variety of sports activities, workplaces can create a more positive and inclusive environment, resulting into happier teams, closer relationships, and a shared sense of achievement. William Evans Mutabazi, RwandaTV News.
And in today's health segment, we'll delve into brain tumors with neurosurgeon Dr. Inyanje Sylvie. She will guide us through the signs, symptoms, and treatment options. Take a look.
So, brain tumors, there's some myth that if you eat this, you'll get brain tumors. If you hit your head somewhere, you'll get brain tumor. But brain tumors usually are the differentiations of cell that is abnormal. It's mostly caused by genes. It might be hereditary. It might be caused by other diseases, being exposed to X-rays, and there are many causes, but those are the most commonly known. Smoking causes other cancers like lung and other cancers in the other parts that can metastasize into the brain. So that's how smoking can cause brain cancer, but it's not among the primary causes of some cancers in the brain. There are no particular signs that leads to brain tumor. There are signs and symptoms that can tell a doctor that you might be having a brain tumor. Even though everyone, like 99% of people, have headache. Headache is not just a headache. It might be a headache, but it's one of the signs that someone could be having something into the brain, not only the brain tumor, but each thing into the brain or into the cranium. So you can be having a headache, blood vision, issues with the vision. If a headache is associated with vision issues, you might think of a tumor. Someone who might have seizures. Seizures is a sign of something happening into the brain, among them being a brain tumor. You might have a decreased level of consciousness, as you might start getting confused, not remembering things or confusing everything, or even being into a coma, being the last, or the hemiplegia, or getting paralyzed, one side or both sides, paresthesias, things according to related. They are all related to where the tumor is located. I talked about the vision, the inability to speak, or even anomia. You can be speaking and you can't find a word. Though it happens to everyone, but it's a sign when it usually happens, or even the people who start with tics. So there are many signs according to where the tumor is located, those being the early detection is very important, as when the tumor is not that big, the resection of it would be easier. To remove a bigger tumor is associated with more complications than removing a smaller one. And as it's becoming bigger, we usually say that if the brain is, time is the brain. As the brain is being compressed for a very long time, it's more difficult to recover from it. Like when you've lost your vision, it starts being blurred vision, you can't see around yourself, and then you get blind totally, you can't see the light. It's more difficult to see again when you've lost your vision totally than when you can't you almost lost your vision. So it's better to detect it earlier and to treat it earlier, so that you can't cause irreversible complications. As early detection, if those tumors that can be hereditary are seen, we usually we have to see all the family and to do exams so that we see if they have those genes or those kind of tumors. The preventive measures are not that much, but detecting it earlier is better. Benign tumors and malignant tumors. So malignant tumors, they are the ones that we usually call cancers. Benign tumors are just a swelling into the brain. So when they are operated on successfully and removed totally, they have a probability of healing up to 100% completely.
What about malignant?
But malignant tumors, depending on which malignant, on where it is, it's not. They have risks of being recurrent. They can recur in, depending on which cancer it is, in a time limit, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, things like that.
Can benign tumors become malignant?
Yes.
How?
Some of them become malignant on the recurrence of them. When they recur, or on the first resection, for example, it was a benign tumor, and on the recurrence, it changes the morphology, the composition of it, and it becomes a malignant one. There are not many tumors into the CNS that can do that, but it can happen. We don't have recent studies in Rwanda, but estimatively 80% or 90% survive on those tumors and they heal completely. But there are other ones who don't. It can happen. It's a complication as anything. Everything has complications, so it can happen. But it's not